when horrible things happen, it's like, where is the Lord? Are you asleep at the wheel, God? Like, do you know that this is happening? Do you see what's going on? Are you going to do anything about it? Those are questions that we ask. Like, why is it that people lost their houses? Why is it that people in our city lost their lives? And we can say too, though, that the Lord does not delight in the perishing of the wicked. And precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. You know, that's true. We know this about the Lord. He brings life out of death. He brings beauty out of ashes. He brings glory out of weakness. And that's where I would want to start. That when horrible things happen, he's not absent. He's not distant. I think a lot of times you hear people talk about how God comes upon some terrible thing and then makes good out of it. Like he works good out of bad. It's like, well, it's actually deeper than that, because it's not as though something happened that the Lord was not intentional in, and then he just shows up to clean it up. Because that's not how the scriptures describe the Lord. I'm thinking about Genesis 50, like with Joseph and his brothers, right, in the aftermath of that whole piece. Yep. The words of Joseph in Genesis 50:20 are astonishing. It's not just what you meant for evil, God worked for good. He doesn't say that. Yeah. He said what you meant for evil, God meant for good. So like this is striking to me, like in the intentional decisions, actions, choices of human beings who intended and meant evil, the Lord was working in and through that to mean, intend, and accomplish good. That's a mind blow. There were a lot of people who united themselves against Jesus, against the anointed one of God, who hated him. You know, they were evil men who did evil things. And that all of this was accomplished according to the foreknowledge and the plan of God from all of eternity. Both are true. And like how these things can be held together, it breaks our brains, and it's something that our hearts, we can't comprehend it.
You can get as angry as you want. You can be angry, and you can get upset and say, this shouldn't be this way. I would do it a different way. I don't like the way it's done. But in the end at the end, you have to ask yourself, what are my options? And at the end of the day, there is one option, and it's Jesus the King.
Amen.
And it's not that it's like, well, I guess it'll have to be. I guess it will do. When you finally realize what he's offering you and what he's doing to you and for you, you are left but to worship. You are left but to wonder. You are left but to cry out for joy, because what he offers you is not just a handout as if, oh, here's some supplies. You know, here's a bucket of some sanitary wipes and some water to get you through disaster. He says, oh, child, I'm going to make all things new. And let me prove to you I have the capacity to do that. Let me prove to you how faithful I have been, not only through the fall of Adam and Eve, but through all of humanity, I have been faithful. And not only have I been faithful, but I proved my love for you as a sinner. When you were at your worst, I laid my son's life down for you.
Amen.
So I'm not just offering you some aid. I'm cleansing you, restoring you, and I'm promising you to put you in a world where all things will be made right. I will wipe away the tears, and this will never happen again. I'm not promising aid. I'm promising you something far beyond what you could even comprehend.
No, amen.